Welcome back everyone. Today I'm going to review this book 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. This is the debut novel of Jay Asher and it was published in 2007. The Netflix series based on this novel was made in 2017 and it concluded. Its fourth season concluded in 2020 during lockdown. The book is the story of the suicide of Hannah Baker. The book starts 2 weeks after Hannah Baker commits suicide, and Clay Jensen receives the tapes in which there are 13 reasons given as to why Hannah Baker committed suicide. Clay Jensen hears all the tapes in one night, and this book is confined to that one night. This book feels like an intimate conversation between Hannah Baker and Clay Jensen. This book also uses two different fonts so that we can know that this is Hannah speaking uh, from the tapes, and this is the story going on in the book. Now let's compare the series through which we will know a lot about the book also. The difference between the series and the book. So the one of the biggest differences is that one of the biggest sword hanging over the heads of everyone in the series is the lawsuit that is impending and that later on takes place. The lawsuit against students and school. There is no such thing as lawsuit in this book. This book talks about just that one night when Clay Jensen hears all the tapes. So there's no, the author doesn't have the liberty or the time to make the book so wide that the lawsuit takes place. And Hannah's parents are almost missing from the book. There is only one scene, I would say, an abstract in the book when they talk about them closing off their shop. But in the series, they have a lot bigger role. They show that Hannah's parents are grieving after her suicide. The whole lawsuit scenes that is completely dependent upon the parents of Hannah Baker because they are the ones pursuing the lawsuit. And then there is a difference between the relationship that's shown in the book and in the series, or the relationship between Hannah Baker and Clay Jensen. In the book, it's shown that Clay Jensen had a crush on Hannah. Hannah also was interested in him and wanted to, know more about him. Uh, but in the series, the relationship is much more than just uh, knowing each other, just being an acquaintance. They go to parties together, they have also worked together, they work together in the book also, and that's the only place where they get to talk, they get talking to each other. But in the series they do a little more than they do in the book together, and that's where there's the relationship is a lot more intimate in the series, a lot more better relationship is shown in the series. They have nicknames for each other in the series, but in the book there is no such thing as nicknames. Clay Jensen is number 9 in the book in the reasons. So ninth chapter is dedicated to Clay, but in the series it's the 11th reason that he is for the death of Hannah Baker. This is one of the where the chronology of the book is not matching with the chronology of episodes in the series. There is another difference in the points of view of the book and the show. The book focuses on Hannah and Clay more, and it is more like an intimate conversation between them. But the show shows us a lot more than just these two characters. The show shows us a lot more characters than these two, and they are shown very, very properly and deeply, and we can know from the show that this is the character behaving in this manner. This person is a drug addict. This person is someone who is very interested in guns. But a lot of this cannot be made out from reading the book only. And also another important fact about this book is that this book is a one side point of view of Hannah Baker as to why she committed suicide. But the show gives us a lot more than that. There are points of view in the show that contradict the point of view of Hannah Baker, and that's how we get to feel and judge better how the characters and the story is. Hannah's suicide in the book is mentioned very casually and very subtly, where it's just told that she is dead. But in the show, it's shown that it's shown very there are graphic scenes that are disturbing, and there was a controversy around it. People said that the show tries to glorify suicide, but then the actors in the show defended it by saying that people should be able to see suicide, because it's not something that one should be doing in a spontaneous manner. Life is not so easy to be taken, as it's very valuable. And they said that if people would see it, they would be not so quick to take such drastic actions. And also the graphic scenes about the rape of Hannah Baker in the series are very disturbing. The show cannot be blamed because they show a special disclaimer saying that there are some scenes that you might find disturbing, and that's the reason that one cannot blame the show, because that's not their responsibility. They have already warned you that you might find it disturbing, and they are disturbing. I personally found the rape scene of Hannah Baker quite very disturbing, and that's it. The thing is that the book is much more subtle about the things that happen to Hannah Baker, but the series is much more blunt, and they're shown in much harsher ways. It is shown in a way that these bad things really happen. These bad things really happen in that way. That's how the reality is shown in the series, but the book is much more subtle. The book doesn't show it so much bluntly. And if we compare the book and the series, I have no hesitation in saying that the series is much better, because the characters are much more developed and the story is much more wider than the book. Book lovers never say that the series is better than the book, but this one is undoubtedly better. I would also like to read something from the book. It's an observation made by Hannah Baker on poetry. She says that that's what I love about poetry. The more abstract, the better. The stuff where you are not sure what the poet's talking about. You may have an idea, but you can't be sure, not 100%. Each word specifically chosen could have a million different meanings. Is it a stand-in, a symbol, or another idea? Does it fit into a larger, more hidden metaphor? I hated poetry until someone showed me how to appreciate it. He told me to see poetry as a puzzle. It's up to the reader to decipher the code or the words based on everything that they know about life and emotions. Did the poet use red to symbolize blood, anger, lust, or is it the wheelbarrow simply red because red sounded better than black? So that's the book review for 13 Reasons Why by Jay Escher. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back next Sunday.